I'm Jason Little, and this is 10 minutes off the top of my head. You know, it just amazes me, all the criticism today on this January 20th, 2017, the inauguration of our 45th President Donald J. Trump. It amazes me all the negativity that's going on already. And not just from the left, not just from the psychos on the left, but from people that claim to be on the right as well. I didn't like his speech. He didn't include anything about Hillary Clinton. He didn't say anything about the divided country. He didn't do a shout out to the protesters or to Beyonce or to Jay-Z. Hey, shut up. Okay? First of all, give the guy a chance. You haven't given him a chance since day one. You're not giving him a chance now, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Because as I heard somebody say on the news, he may not have gotten 50% of the vote, but he's 100% your president. Now, it doesn't really matter to me if you don't give him a chance, because small-minded people don't have the ability to be objective. And that's just a fact. Small-minded people, in other words, liberals, don't have the ability to be objective. Now, I do want to point out another thing. I have seen all over Facebook many times people complaining about this cabinet post and that cabinet post and what's her name, DeVos from Michigan. She's not smart enough. She doesn't have any experience. You people need to understand something. There is a difference. There is a difference between experience and ability. Now, I can have all the experience in the world with, for instance, let's say being a doctor. I've had a lot of experience being a doctor because I've been in the doctor's office. I've seen them stick that little thing in my ear and down my throat and put the blood pressure cuff on my arm. I've seen them take their stethoscope and put it on my chest and listen to my heartbeat. I've got a lot of experience with doctors, but I don't have the ability to be a doctor. So what we're looking for is not somebody who has a lot of experience, and specifically in the Department of Education, which should be done away with. We're not looking for someone with a lot of experience there. We're looking for somebody who can change it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when we handed over the state's education, the education of our children, when our states handed it over to the federal government, that was a huge mistake. Wake up! Wake up! Listen, our federal indoctrination centers that we used to call schools are not teaching our children how to become critical thinkers. They're not teaching our children to think at all. You know what they're doing? They're training them to be good little boys and girls and to be good little subjects of the federal government. It has got to stop. Hopefully, Mrs. DeVos can change that. Hopefully, President Trump will get rid of the Department of Education. But that's wishful thinking. I know that it is. But I do want to address those of you that keep complaining and keep complaining and keep complaining. The guy has been in office now, what? It is 2:17 Central Time. He's now been our president for 2 hours. Okay? For 3 hours, because it's 3:17 on the East Coast. So 3 hours he's been our president, and people are already losing their minds. And I cannot believe the fools that are saying that his speech was something that Hitler would have given. Did you not hear the man? No, because you came into that speech with that preconceived notion. Oh, it's Hitler, it's Hitler. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Hitler. Ain't nobody who's talking about Hitler now that even personally knew the man. There's nobody talking about Hitler now. Most people that are talking about Hitler now weren't old enough to understand what was going on during World War II. And they didn't live through World War II in the way that an adult would have. Most of the people that are talking about it on the news and most of the liberals that say that he's like Hitler don't have any idea about Hitler and don't know who Hitler was, much less what he did. So can we just stop with all the Hitler this, Hitler that? I want to explain something to you that's very critical for you to have peace and success in being a good and positive citizen over the next 4 years with our new president. There is a difference between globalism and nationalism. Right now, all across the world, there are many countries, especially the major ones, Germany, France, Great Britain, that have globalist-minded leaders. These people are working for and want and advocate a one-world socialist government. Former President Barack Hussein Obama was a globalist who was working for a one-world socialist government. What he did during his 8 years as president was try to bring down the United States to a level at which we could compete with the rest of the world, which we are, where we could be equal with the rest of the world. Equality is evil. We don't want to be equal. We want to be better. We want to do better. We want to always improve. We don't want to just stay stagnant where we are now. We want to keep getting better. That's not what the globalists want. The globalists want to do exactly what President Trump said in his inaugural address. They want to take the money that you're making and they want to give it to everybody else in the rest of the world. Now, is that what you want? Is that why you go and work a 40-hour week? Is that why you make investments? Is that why you save your money so that it can be given away to others? That's what the globalists want to do. They want to make sure that the people in Zimbabwe have as much as you have. They want to make sure that the people in China have as much as you have. They want to make sure that you have as much as they have. That's really the way that it is, because those folks don't have anything. And they want to make it that way for you. They don't want you to own personal property. They sure don't want you to own a firearm. And they don't want you to own a bank account with a lot of money in it. And so former President Barack Hussein Obama, the Muslim, at very best, he was a liberation theology adherent, but I believe he was a Muslim. He wanted to take your stuff away from you and give it to others. That's what Obamacare is all about. And if you're going to complain and moan about Obamacare, now I'm hearing all these stories about people are not satisfied with getting rid of Obamacare. There's a lot of things that they like about it. Nonsense. There's nothing there's nothing to like about Obamacare. The only possible thing that you could even say positive about Obamacare, and it's not positive, is that they don't allow pre-existing conditions. Now let's think about this. Before Obamacare, I paid $1,200 a month to cover my family with Cadillac insurance. I didn't pay for it, my company paid for it. Okay, now think about that. I had a family of 5, and we paid $1,200 a month for health care insurance through the church. The church paid it. I didn't pay it. The church paid it. But when I went to the doctor, you know how much I paid? $25. When I went in the hospital, you know how much I paid? $50. Now let's say that you have to go to the doctor or to the hospital now and you've got a pre-existing condition. You had it before you had the current insurance that you have now. Well, if you go to the hospital, you know how much you have to pay? The whole bill until your deductible is completely paid off. And those deductibles are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Exclude my pre-existing conditions, man. It makes no difference to me. Actually, I think that's a good point. But it doesn't matter. It's not a good thing for Obamacare, because Obamacare is raping you and stealing from you. And if you don't get health insurance, you're going to be fined by the federal government. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm getting way off track here. Globalists. Globalists want to take what you have and spread it all around the world. They don't want anybody. They don't want a middle class. They want the very wealthy at the top and the rest of us underneath at the bottom. And they don't want us to have money, and they don't want us to have power. That man that just got inaugurated this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you live, at 12 noon Eastern time, that man is not a globalist, as best as I can tell. Now, it may turn out that he's the worst president that we've ever had. I don't think it will. I think that he means business. He put the globalist establishment on notice today. And thank God, because what he said in his speech is exactly right. They have raked us over the coals, and they're the ones that have gotten rich, not us. Hey, listen, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is 10 minutes off the top of my head, and I'm just about at that 10-minute mark. So like, subscribe, feel free to comment. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it, and God bless you.